Hacking is the act of unauthorized access to a device. You kids know what hacking is, okay? But under the context of gaming, it's fucking around and finding out. I'm not gonna go too deep into it because the name of this movie is Video Game Hacking, not How to Gain Access to Classified Documents, brackets, for educational purposes. And also, most I know about hacking is that they wear black hoodies on a summer day with a shit ton of stickers on their laptops because they're burdened with sponsorship or something. There are numerous videos that touches upon the hacking law, but I believe the term hacking became a thing ever since Jeff Bridges from Tron said, "I've been doing a little hacking here." And some kid named John Hacking was like, hey, that's my name. It derived from the slang freaking, which involves old-ass telephones in the 60s, where a bunch of nerds figured out a way to fuck around with the frequencies of old telephones by just using a whistle from a Captain Crunch cereal box to make long-distance phone calls. It may sound lame, but think of it like the Assassin's Creedification of Watch Dogs. Instead of assassinating people, you're just trying to order pizza from Tibet. But government officials mainly saw them as a threat back then, ever since watching the Matthew Broderick film Ferris Bueller's War Games. But sooner or later, as computers became more accessible and the internet evolved, things got a little more complicated. But originally, hacking was mainly done for either plain old fun or overcoming a digital obstacle. The prestigious MIT is known for having iconic hacks amongst the nerds to show off their technical and creativeness with potential hope to get with the cheerleader. Think of it like a dick measuring contest, but for the Brene. Hell, it went to the extent of them playing Tetris on the side of a building. Oh wait, it wasn't the side of the building, it was the actual building. That's pretty cool. But not the electric bills afterward. But as the hacker culture continued to grow, different hackers had different motives, ethics, and different testicle sizes that we know classified them by hats. You got white hat, black hat, gray hat, etc. Personally, I'm something of a neophyte myself, and my internet just had a heart attack, but hey, the hacker girl gave me her number though. That's an IP address. Shit. Each of these hats have their own polarized reception amongst the people, but in my opinion, who doesn't like hats? Sooner or later, gamers and hackers collided and merged and figured out that a gigabyte of RAM should do the trick before they started hacking video games. Hacking in video games received the same polarizing reception in two different ways: the good and the bad. The good being hackers who figured out how to hack the game in order to amplify the play experience. I'm talking about mods here. Okay, sex mods, jiggle physics, spawning random bullshit, skipping random bullshit, changing game content for the reason of fun, which is a huge green flag. And you might be saying, yo, substitute, those are modders, not hackers, sir. And to that I say, out. Go to the principal's office right now. The bad being hackers who gain unfair advantage over other players. Okay, I'm talking about wall hacks, ESP, God mode, aimbot, fucking putting water with cereal. The usual case for this is typically a lack of skill or just pure anarchy, which you either get good or you get playing some other game or you get religion. Cheating is one thing, but blatantly cheating at a game and live streaming it is a whole different form of moron. Although the iconic one is Clara and her wall hack on CS, but I also think the Indian CSGO player Forsaken using cheats during an esports tournament, which not only ended up getting his whole team disqualified, but pretty much screwed up the chances of India getting a shot at esports in general. It's funny how both examples I mentioned are under the context of Counter-Strike, a topic that is not even on the syllabus, so nice try slipping that in, Timmy. I see you in the back. What are you gonna do, blame Clara? Prick. There are numerous hats, baseball caps, fedoras in the hacking scene, but at the end of the day, sometimes you get the evil fuckers who just do the unthinkable. The unthinkable being IP pulling and DDoS account. If you've been living under a very cozy rock, I'll explain it to you, Fern. Load the tape. IP pull is pretty much just someone pulling your public IP address, which they can scan and find the general location of where you live. It happens because this whole network that we call the internet is just a soulless hunk of computers bouncing data back to back, and it can only do that if it knows where you are. Unless if you whip out that NordVPN sponsorship that you haven't begged for yet. And then you got your DDoS attack, which may sound like a Subway menu, but it sure shit tastes like one if you don't like Subway. A denial of service is pretty much disrupting a service of a network. That's pretty much it. Yo, Substitute, what you just described is a DOS attack. Where does the extra D come from? Great question. How about D's nuts? Fuck you, I got tenure. But DDoS stands for Distribute Denial of Service, as well as DIC. It's the same concept, but flooding the network or an IP address with so much data that it shuts it down completely. This glass is no longer half full, and yes, there are numerous and way more nuanced cyber attacks that can be done, but IP pulling and DDoS attacks are mainly the golden child that you'll find in the gaming streets around the corner of P2P store and the multiplayer strip club. But thank God it's not common, and it's very tricky to do because it is proper Mr. Robot, you know, fucking I'm in the mainframe matrix bullshit.
Yo?
Yo?
Yo.
Yo.
Why are you saying yo? You called me.
Yo.
What do you want?
Can I ask you 3 questions?
Okay.
Cool, okay. I'm sorry to disturb you, but
Are you going to ask the question?
Yeah, sorry. Is IP pulling and DDoSing easy to do?
Yeah.
Oh. Could you show me?
Fuck no.
God damn it. However, all of this is under the hood of multiplayer games. Now, this is a crazy situation, but what if a hacker hacks outside of the game? Yeah, I'm talking about like some like that'd be crazy. Like, you know, in September of 2022, a user named Teapot Uber Hacker leaked roughly 50 minutes of work-in-progress game footage of GTA 6, which they managed to get by downloading files from Rockstar's internal Slack group chats. But not only that, they claim to have had the source code, assets, and internal builds of GTA 5 and GTA 6, and it got held ransom. Sooner or later, after numerous takedowns and investigations, 7 people aged between 16 to 21 were arrested in suspicion working in the hacker group Lapsus $. I'm pretty sure there's an actual pronunciation to it. But they've hacked these companies alongside Rockstar within the same year. But one kid was a prominent member of this hacker group who was not only convicted but apparently pleaded guilty, but was placed under an indefinite hospital order due to the kid expressing intent to continue the cybercrime, earmarking him as the mastermind of one of the biggest leaks in gaming history. Another occurrence that happened a year prior to this was CD Projekt Red, when they got hit by a ransomware after some actor gained unauthorized access to the internal network, encrypting and also stealing administrative files and the source code of Witcher 3, Gwent, and the then buggy as shit Cyberpunk 2077. The hackers left a ransom note giving CD Projekt 48 hours to respond, or they'd auction off the code, to which it did, for $7 million. I'm no accountant, but $7 million gets you 7 bullets, John. Random fact that adds nothing to the situation, but there was a data mine of the source code by the hackers, and it was revealed that the contents in the game that were flagged for censorship was labeled under the tag of Winnie the Pooh, referencing the iconic Christopher Robin character Xi Jinping, the Chinese Communist Party leader. But I think one of the most iconic hacks was in April of 2011 when the PlayStation Network services went down. Sony stated that it may take a day or 2 to get services fully up and operational again, until a few more days went by that Sony found out that they got hacked. Really hard. Full penetration. From behind, 69, anal, vaginal, cowgirl, reverse cowgirl, all the hits. The couple days to be fixed extended to a little over 3 weeks, and it wasn't just a PSN outage, but 77 million accounts' personal details were compromised, which is insane. It costed Sony to lose roughly 171 million bucks, which is roughly about 32 million triple cheeseburgers with no pickles. And I did the maths before the morons at McDonald's HQ decided to get rid of the fucking triple cheese. But the PSN hacks remains to be one of the biggest hacks in history because they never found out who really did it. People speculated Anonymous was the perpetrator, but they apparently came out with a statement and denied any allegations, as I guess they had better people to hack. My parents assumed it was God trying to stop me from playing games on a school night, but I speculated that maybe it was Michael Jackson's ghost or Roderick. But cyber attacks like these are terrifying. If the big bombs are data leaks and financial loss to big companies, then what are the small bombs to people like us? Is it receiving a DDoS, personal data theft, or having an awkward conversation with an Indian guy? But it can be anything because no one cares about the small bomb that went off. just a big bomb that did. It's getting loud in here. Considering digital technology is slowly becoming the instrument of our daily existence, simply accessing the internet, looking through whatever brain rot, paradox, or porn is enough to put yourself in someone's digital crosshair, and with gaming sort of being the digital no man's land, because shooter games and stuff, you know, I think I'm out of my depth here. We're at a segment of this video where I would sprinkle in some moral of the story shit after basically thinking out loud about the tip of the iceberg and how my legs don't work like they used to before. But not gonna lie, like a moron with an eraser, kinda drawing a blank here. But I guess the philosophical and core question about hackers that is usually asked is just, why? And I don't really have an answer, but an idea. It could be exploration and the exercising of knowledge, or to insert their own creativity by reshaping a game, or to cause chaos, albeit rebelliousness, or multiplayer terrorism, or simply just to fuck around and find out. I think if you're a hacker man or woman or person or egg, you probably stem from one of these, but the underlying foundation of these ideas comes from curiosity, my favorite C word, if you catch my Tokyo drift. Okay, Bell dismisses you this time. I hope I made a pretty solid background noise this class. Oh, your homework, tell your attractive English teachers about me, you know, set me up as like the next rendition of Shakespeare or a parental figure or something. I don't care. Okay, you'll come up with something smart. Whoever nails it will get an A double star in a recommendation letter to the prestigious KFC. So anyway, have a lovely night, even though this is first period. Damn. Take care.